Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a good day. I was just about to go donate some plasma because I was so happy I got my job back almost 8 months ago, around December sometime or whenever it was, 9 months ago. And when I got my job back, they were throwing me buku money. I mean, it was crazy. Well, then another company had bought them out and they switched to where it was like no overtime, blah, blah, blah. And there was an overstaff on third shift. So I basically went from like 90, 88 hours to like 62, 65 hours for a while. Well, it had all got corrected and I'm back up to my normal 80 hours. So, but for a while I was still having to donate plasma. Well, I still have to because, the 80 hours won't take effect until the next check. But anyways, the point is, I wanted to bring that up to say this. The reason why that's important is because my girlfriend just shared, I believe it was her, in this group chat that we have. She shared a post talking about light heap. And what light heap is in Illinois, I don't know if they have it in other places, is what happens is, I believe it's Amarin. They donate so much money so that everybody, most of the people that are poor, can get their electric bill paid. Well, the problem with this is they don't really do too much background, and all you have to have is an old electric bill, and they'll pay it off. And a lot of times people with jobs and income and shit like that, they'll try to hide income, or what they'll do is they'll let their, I've even had people tell me they do this, they'll let their electric bill go like 6 months or a whole year or something like that. And then once the program starts, they'll sit out and camp in front of the building for like a day and a half to get it paid. So they could be the first ones in line. But the point is, the reason why it was funny and why I brought this up is because I've been talking about capitalism lately. And it's always a good idea to donate and help people and do this and that. So what happened was she shared an article, and I want to teach you about deception. She shared an article in the group chat talking about light heap and how it's that time of year where Amarin's pay light bills and whatnot, right? So it showed an article talking about how they donated $2 million, I believe, to Danville. They do it for different places, but they had donated $2 million, right, to the specific location. And I don't think it's just that location. It was like 2 million for this program in this area. And Danville's one of the cities in the area or whatever. So when I saw that, I was like, 2 million, interesting. Now, keep in mind, if you just listen to me talk and hear that they donated, you'd be like, oh, that's amazing. That's so sweet, right? So I looked up. I had to type in a bunch of specific stuff because I kept typing in how much did Amarin gross or make, and a whole bunch of weird stuff kept popping up. Different Amarin companies from, like, there's a company in some Arabic company and country named Amarin. So I was like, what the fuck? They know what I'm talking about. Why are they doing this? So I had to get real specific. And eventually it popped up. It popped up that Amarin made $1.2 billion last year. So I'm going to teach you about percentages. I'm sorry. To me, certain things are hilarious. And people will do things to virtue signal and make it seem like, I'm going to say something, and I don't like using this word too often. I don't use it in vain, but I hate this country. And it causes me to hate this world because this country has control over a lot of shit. I'm going to explain something about the IMF banks after I explain this and what they're doing to you people and what inflation really is and all this bullshit. So, and supply and demand, it's all bullshit. So essentially, Amarin, right? They made $1.2 billion and they donated $2 million. So I'm going to give you a scenario. I'm walking down the street and I got $100 in my pocket. No, I have $120 in my pocket, right? And out of that $120, I have $119 in solid money, but I have $118 in solid money and $2 in pennies. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm explaining this wrong. I have $119 and $1 and change, right? So I'm walking down the street and there's this homeless person standing there and he's begging and starving and he needs help, right? So now a whole bunch of people can see me, right? And they will see what I'm doing. I got $100, $120 in my pocket. I'm flipping through it and I'm counting and I'm walking down the street. Then I see this homeless person sitting there that needs help. But not just that one homeless person, maybe there's 10 homeless people. Or maybe there's 5 homeless people in the area. I'm sorry, 5 homeless people. No, there's 50 homeless people in assorted areas, just like this program, right? They doing it for this here 2 million. So now I'm out here flipping these bills, and I go up to each of these homeless people and I throw 2 cents at them. 2 cents at you, 2 cents at you, 2 cents at you, until 50 homeless people now have 2 cents in their pocket. What would you think of me after doing that? Would you think I'm a fucking asshole? And then not only that, I didn't just give them the 2 cents. I questioned the fuck out of them and then threw it at them at the end. Pow! Now go cash this. I'm sorry. Because y'all might think I'm crazy for saying that, but that's what Amarin just did. That's what these corporations do. They are mocking y'all and humiliating y'all, right? That's why, especially in New York and these big cities in LA, you can go stand next to a multi-billion-dollar building, hundreds of millions of dollars, while $10,000 worth of homeless people are sitting down there, and it would literally only take about $10,000 a month to take care of all of them. You see what I'm saying? Like, Trump just had a parade that cost $44 million plus. That could have fed people for years. They're using ICE to deport people and using the military to go in and stop people, which costs millions of dollars, but won't give food to the poor like that. Won't house them. Won't give them programs and education and hooked on phonics and simple shit. Re-education programs. Relief programs. Then the left, they'll go and take a bunch of people from different countries and bring them here to piss the right off, but won't dump more of that money into the country. I'm not left or right. I have both hands. Why would I want either side of my country to be retarded? I look at the right wing and go, why would I want my strong arm to act like this? Then I look at the left wing, why would I want my empathy to start teaching people to mutilate themselves? It's all some people up top that don't have sense are creating stupid shit. Amarin just took a whole bunch of pennies and threw them at homeless bums. But we'll put $500 million into advertising. We'll put $1 million into this. We'll put $2 million into a new this or that. We'll put $1 billion. I can't make this up. All these companies and corporations do it. The government does it. When each person gets in the Senate, when each person gets into this military contract, blah, 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 this and that, they bend the laws, and these contracts pay millions, and they put their friends and families and known loved ones in there, their constituents in there, and I'm telling y'all, it's time to wake up. I'm currently playing a mobile game where people are paying more than my rents to win an event that happens once every 2 weeks. It's all Ponzi schemes everywhere. I can't even game no more. If I want the amount of money people are spending on mobile games can buy TVs and entertainment systems and PS5s and supercomputers. I mean, everything that is enjoyable turns into a Ponzi scheme. And the crazy part is none of these games hardly cost money. It can all be free. It's the people. That's why I tell y'all, it's not just the corporations. It's the people with money that do it. And then if they were the new rich, they do it. So that Amarin article just made me laugh and made me sick at the same time. It's like inflation. Money isn't real. If you're going to say Harry Potter's not real, if you're going to say God's not real, if you're going to say all this shit ain't real, then money's not real. I told a friend in my chat yesterday, everything is real. Everything that ChatGPT creates, everything all these religious psychopaths create, it's real because now it's a teaching and it's created. It's here, or it's a video, or it's a something. It's real in that sense. People come up to me, okay, I'm not going all it. Inflation. Inflation is not real. What's happening is people are increasing their prices because of supply and demand. Oh, I'm worth a lot, so I'm going to increase my price. Capitalism. Now the entire system is inflated because now that this costs more money, this is going to cost more money. If I have a product that costs more money, now all the pieces and bolts and tools and machines that cost to make that product are going to make more money. The people who build that product are going to make more money. Now there's going to be a dip in the system. Okay, If it didn't dip the way that it did, okay, in my parents' age, 10 cents could buy them a movie, some gas, a burger, all this shit. Now $100 couldn't buy you a complete set of all that shit. That is not even 100 years, dude. That should be concerning to people. So let me explain why the IMF and these people in the World Bank are doing this. I'm the IMF. There's this country over here that don't got shit but a resource that I want. So what do? I create a loan system, right? I loan them $100 million, right? At the rate that, no, we're going to go back in time. Now I gave them $10 million but really all I want are their resources and this and that and cheap labor and a bunch of other shit and an embassy in their country, right? So now what do is the money's been inflating. Now 50 years go by and now their $10 million loan that they owed is now $100 million because the dollar's like a balloon. It's full of air. Yeah, everybody wants to come to America. People are losing their lives trying to swim here. Little children drowning within barbed wire and shit to get to a piece of fucking landmass. But the dollar's inflating. Y'all got to spend millions on ICE getting people out, but the dollar's inflating. They're mind fucking you all with a bunch of technical bullshit that don't exist, like the religious book, the Bible. Go Google how many times senators increased their pay. Then Google when was the last time minimum wage went up in the South. Now that it's 16 here, I guarantee you it'll probably still be 16 unless people change and have compassion until I'm decrepit in age. But yet the dollar, right, will inflate to the moon and back. And then even talking about inflation, if the dollar is inflating and it's going down, then why do y'all still want people to make $750? They can't survive anymore. That doesn't make sense. $750 ain't $750 no more. So back to the IMF and why I'm so proud of Burkina Faso for kicking France out and not dealing with the IMF anymore. So the IMF basically gets you these countries in these loan contracts. The countries can no longer pay it because of the inflation or whatever bullshit reason, right? Which is actually just people being greedy and increasing their whatever and lowering wages. Then once these people get mega rich, the dollar's inflated, so now they're shit. But everybody else who had the same shit before is now underwater because of some magical, mystical, delusional, technical, capitalistic term they created. Did you know that, I believe it's Saudi Arabia, they don't let people do credit anymore? It's all predatory. They know people, even if you pay it on time, it's interest rates. So you're paying for paying. Then there's taxes. Then there's bills. So even when I see people who aren't corporate and rich then get on video games or entertainment or go to bars or wherever and spend thousands of dollars, it's like, or hotels or gambling, it's like, why do y'all talk about the elites? Y'all love the fucking elites. I went to this hotel recently and saw these people gambling. I was like, oh my fucking God. Y'all are ridiculous. When I said this country's full of little dictators, now you go on and try to teach any of these people this shit. And their elites don't have to do anything. Their everyday public are going to ostracize you and call you crazy and call you names. Then when they get poor or they get hurt for something, they're going to become a freedom fighter. It never fucking ends until the people wake up and end the bullshit. It doesn't even have to be violence. You can end the capitalistic machine at any time. This should be a neutral system where people are helping each other. We're humanity, not products. So I'm finna go later and stick a needle in my arm, let them take the proteins out so I can survive enough to continue to go on when I'm a full-time working person doing work that people probably couldn't fathom and would puke. While still being looked at as, what, a black crime? While I pay for all y'all shit and taxes. Some of y'all broke pieces of shit on Medicaid and SSI and child support and everything else. Talking shit about me, but I'm taking care of you like these immigrants were doing. Right. So I'm noticing all these people coming out. My invoices are increasing. I'm going bankrupt. They're taking my farms. I'm not a trucker no more. It's all by design. So then the more the corporations own, there's not going to be, y'all talking about mom and pops, all your businesses are going to be owned. And you all will be slaves. Because you all didn't want to abolish slavery. I hear all the time in the general public, oh, these people have the money, they rightfully have it. Get rich, get it. Jesus Christ, the Lord, King, God, and we're all slaves. Oh, you're going to pay in retribution. Kill the essayers and kill the people who assault and do this and that and blah, blah, blah. Y'all are all violent psychopaths. And until y'all learn what the fuck y'all are doing and become more aware, it's going to continue to be like this. So stop blaming religion. Stop blaming media and money. Money, the root of all evil. Humans! You! The black people who get some money and start accusing other blacks. The Zionists who act the nuts, so now innocent Jew. Remember South Park? Kyle getting called a Jew all the time? Then people are ostracized. Or the white people who become so left, they tell people to mutilate themselves. Or the other white people who become so right, they don't realize they're DEI themselves and talking shit about DEI or racist. Are you gracious pigs? What does Jesus mean in Latin? What does G mean, which is J-E, which used to be ye? And what does sus mean? It's called a prefix and a suffix. Why do none of these Catholics, God, I love South Park. Why do none of these Catholics know what Jesus means? Because their minds have been slaughtered. I think it's called a Septuagint or a, I might be saying this wrong. They're on top of an Egyptian burial ground. They don't know nothing outside of Africa and Kemet. There was no Arabs, there was no Muslims when the Hyksos and the Babylonians and all them was running around. When the Hyksos and all them invaded Africa and they mixed and they went back and forth, Africa was kicking Canaan's ass and Canaan was kicking Africa's ass. It's in written history that couldn't nobody beat Egypt until the fucking until actually I believe it was Babylonians. Then it was was it this? I think it was the Greeks. I could be wrong, but I think the Greeks eventually defeated the Egyptians or the Persians. I can't remember which one. But Egypt wasn't no joke. And I'm sorry, the Kemet, because Egypt means house of bondage. And the Greeks all wrote about Kemet and everything else. I'm not arguing with y'all anymore. I just think people are ancient feudal Japanese and ancient feudal Chinese, and I've been looking at pictures of the indigenous. I know what it is. They looked my color. I'm actually light-skinned compared to some of them pictures. So we know what it is. Y'all went north, genetics. Something changed. Darwin, y'all came back because it was fucking cold and survival was thin. And now y'all talking about y'all Supreme. What the fuck? Supreme pizza face. I can say what the fuck I want on my video. I didn't say no color. If you think you're supreme over others because of your skin color, you're fucking stupid. So, back to the IMF. Then, when a country can't pay the shit no more, they want a person out of their country, and they want the IMF out of their country, IMF might be code for something else. So when they want the IMF, I'm not talking about Jews. I'm talking about elitist capitalists and Zionists and Americanos and colonizers. Some of them Arabs do it. I'm sorry, Hyksos, they became Arabs when they mixed with Africans. So, like I was saying, what they do is when the country's tired of getting raped, because that they don't want you to pay it back. They want your resources, your steel, the shit they put in cell phone. I'm not saying steel is I'm saying the shit you use on an everyday basis, your fuels and all that. They want that country shit. So then, once that country's in debt because of the inflation, they go and take all their shit and create embassies and forts and bases. When the country gets tired of it and starts jihading and blowing shit up and getting sick of that shit, which the Middle East is a big fucking hypocrisy, so don't start with me with that. That's not what I'm talking about. In terms of my people, they've been enslaving my people too. So I'm talking about any capitalist or any nation that does that shit. And then when a country fights back, they go to the United States and go, terrorists, look at the media going, terrorism. And then they send all these fucking soldiers and troops and shit. You want to know something? They was doing it to Germany, and Germany tweaked the fuck out. Call me what you want. This is true fucking history. And them ads about Palestinians sitting in a market eating all those fresh fruits, y'all are fucking evil, man. They have drone footage of you motherfuckers. Y'all are evil. I don't believe the Bible or none of those books no more. Y'all are pure fucking evil. The videos I'm watching, people's body parts are flying apart and they're eating fucking dirt and feces. Just like what the leader of North Korea be doing. Y'all some evil motherfuckers. And y'all can get what y'all looking for when death and the grave come. And then for some of y'all, it might not take that long. But y'all can get what y'all looking for. It might come sooner. So, I'm telling you, all these institutions, capitalism is slavery. Because humans have turned it into slavery. I'm sorry, humans are enslavers, and they use words like Christianity, capitalism, left, right, up, down, purple, green, blue, race, to institute that shit. A shit stain on the planet Earth. So, do it, man. Consume, man. Consumerism. And then when people try to speak to you about how fucked up the world is, call them conspiracy lefty righty nutbags. Because all of you dumbasses want the same thing. But you're wearing different clothing and allowing your clothing to become uniforms, to be soldiers, to attack each other instead of fixing the shit. All of mankind is guilty right now for this shit. And the ones that aren't usually get killed or enslaved or in jail. So, y'all, all of y'all in these churches talking about God help me, shut the fuck up. Help your fucking self. Get off your goddamn knees and change something without hurting somebody. And Marquette Devon Burton talking about the South Africans. I mean, I keep saying Devon, but Marquette Devon, I think his name is, on YouTube. You talking to the South Africans, asking them why they don't overpower the whites there, that's some vain shit to say. That's some silly shit to say. Then people have all kind of technology and everything. I'm not finna argue with you and do all this crazy shit with you. Ooh, another man argue with me. Like I said, I keep bringing him up. I'm nearest and I don't know where he at now. I'm not saying you anything like that, dude. I'm just saying the way you talk to other Africans and African Americans, I keep telling y'all need to talk to. I watched that white supremacist on your one show. You talk to him so calm and normal. Then the Hebrew Israelites and other people go, you got hollering at them and acting a nut with them. They not your enemy right now, buddy. I promise you. Because if we was all in a big cage, you ever seen a jail before? Them Hebrew Israelites would be your best friend if you ended up having a mishap. I'm just telling you. I might talk shit about the religious aspect of it, but I'm like, I just watched. I got Rashad Crenshaw share the amazing Lucas talking about how he's the white American learning. Lucas is a grifter. A lot of these people are. I'm telling y'all, man. I watched him talk about black people like a dog, not because of like a dog, weaves and everything else. Stupid dumb FBA. Y'all gonna get enough of that shit. Y'all think because you're on the left, you ain't no different than the Hodge twins. And I'm not saying that Marquette Burton dude or Marquette Devon dude is anything like that dude. But what I'm saying is, y'all got to get this shit time, man. Y'all are talking to the oppressed like they have any type of knowledge you have. Bruh, it is what it is. This change might not happen for hundreds of, you know what I mean? It's about that foundation and laying the foundation. I said this before. You could be as right as you want to be, as smart as you want to be. But if you sound like an asshole, nobody's going to listen. Sometimes being an asshole is necessary, but remember who your true enemy is. Because them motherfuckers are skin and tar you. They was doing it 100 years ago. Remember?